Welcome to Something for the Weekend with me, Stephen Day.
Me, Fiona Scott.
And me, Ellis Butcher.
Coming up in this podcast, Fiona bumps into Joy Cameron at the Benderloch Polling Station, and the pair reminisce over the many uses of the once bustling Victory Hall, and look forward to an entertaining and safe reopening. There's also music from the multi-genre musical duo the Romanas, featuring open duo Rhianna McMahon and Rory OB. And Ellis ruminates over another Scottish word of the week, maybe, but I may know that he hasn't quite got one yet, but by the time we get there, he will have his word. But first, hello everybody.
Good morning, or good day, Stevie, I should say.
Good day.
Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Ellis.
How are we all?
I'm good. Raring to go.
I'm just a little bit annoyed that you kept me waiting so long this morning.
I know. I mean, you know, you were just sitting there in the waiting room and nobody let you in, and me and Fiona did half the programme with that. No, we didn't. We just chatted, as we do. But
most of it was, where's Ellis?
Yeah.
By the way.
Now, maybe we could do a whole book on that. Maybe we could do a special Where's Ellis edition of the Oban Times.
Have you got a stripy jersey, Ellis?
I am saying nothing.
And a wee special hat.
Moving swiftly on.
Do you know what I missed last week, Fee?
Let me guess. Music.
I did.
Although I sang the Smurfs.
You did.
She did.
And I thought you sung it very well. And at least one listener stopped me and said they really enjoyed the Smurfs. And I was looking blankly at them, and then it suddenly twigged.
Yes, well, we'll say no more about that. But yes, I've got some music again this week. Hooray! And this is Oban duo and longtime friends Rory Obi and Rhianna McMahon. They've got something to sing about this weekend because they're launching their debut EP. The pair are collectively known as the Romanas, and they've got a unique sound that refuses to be categorised into one genre. Throughout the EP, and I've had a good listen to it, we've got hip-hop, folk, trad, electronic and dance across 5 songs, I think it is, that's on that. So we're going to have Allison 2 Wildflower.
And I'm sorry for the mistakes I have made, and I'm sorry for the games that I have played, and I'm sorry for the times I should have stayed, but they will never come close to the heartache you create.
He's waking up in a duvet that hasn't been washed for a month. His sheets carry the sweat from sleepless nights in the summer heat. The smell of alcohol infused the body odours are a reminder of shouting all the odds before falling over. He hasn't knocked the final nail in the coffin. It's a reminder that he should proceed hastily with caution, but he's not in the mood for being lectured by his conscience, so he probably revert back to weaponry and nonsense. He's been tossing and turning, partner bolted and dumped him. His ego grew ginormous and bust, valued himself as much more than what he's probably worth. Now when he speaks to her he's better and he calls her a slut. Remember falling in love with a clean sober mind, without the weak coke and wine, leaving your heart beating over time. He's regressing over time, but he reckons that he's better. Unapologetic, says he wishes that he'd never met her.
The mistakes I have made, and I'm sorry for the games that I have played, and I'm sorry for the times I should have stayed, but they will never come close to the heartache you create.
He says it left a hole in his heart, which is strange, because he instigated every argument till the relationship disintegrated. Using booze as a coping mechanism, chain smoking television till he's eaten whole by pessimism, mourning the loss of his sanity, holding it all down like gravity, but gradually slipping. It doesn't matter to him because he's past giving a shit. He reckons life is out to get him, but I'm actually convinced that he's getting sick of wallowing inside the hermit shell, cause every booze-induced decision never really ends outside the well. Not a lot appealing about waking up in strangers' fancy. Sometimes starts to wonder if she may be even taken back. And if he ever saw her again,
he would maybe admit it was his fault in the end.
I guess it all would depend on if he's sober or not. Cause if she told him no, he'd punch a hole in the
I'm
wall.
sorry for the mistakes I have made. And I'm sorry for the games that I have played. And I'm sorry for the times I should have stayed. But they will never come close to the heartache you create. Eyes they burn like fire. You call me your wildflower. You keep me hanging higher. Where did it go so wrong? When did I become so strong? I thought you had the answer. And I'm sorry for the mistakes I have made. And I'm sorry for the games that I have played. And I'm sorry for the times I should have stayed. But they will never come close to the heartache you create.
So there we go. If you want to hear more of that, just pop on to the Romanas Facebook page and you can get all the details there. The EP is released tomorrow, Saturday.
Wow, that was great.
Great sound.
It is a tremendous sound, and there's lots of all the tracks in the EP are different, and you know
They're a local group, are they?
They're staying in Glasgow now, but they actually they're from Oban, and they met in a pub here just in one of these open mic days. So they met up and they've been friends ever since.
It's such a mix of styles. At the beginning, it starts off with one thing and then it goes into another, and I really like it. You know, it's the kind of thing that I wouldn't. If somebody said, "Oh well, listen to this," I might not, because we were running it. And now I'm thinking, well, I'm going off to investigate that because I really, really like that sound.
Well, yeah, it took me. I must admit, it took me a bit by surprise the first time I listened to it, and but yeah, it's great stuff.
Where do you think they got their name from?
I don't know. I keep looking at it and thinking of the Ramones because I was a big Ramones fan.
I hate to say it, Fee, but you see, I'm getting a Doctor Who theme off that because there was a character called Romana.
Everything leads back to Doctor Who.
Always back to Doctor Who. Remember, you can contact us by email, somethingfortheweekend@obantimes.co.uk, or message us on Facebook or Instagram. We've had a wee bit of an event yesterday, didn't we? We can talk about it now. It was polling day.
Way.
Yeah.
It was. It was slightly. I love the polls, and I love. Usually, I stay up all night and watch the results coming in. So I was slightly underwhelmed yesterday. Anybody else feel like that? Was it quite the same?
Because you're not finding out who's won straight away.
Yeah.
And not even an exit poll. You know, normally the sort of 10 o'clock comes along and they say, well, here's what we're predicting, and absolutely nothing.
Nothing, no. It was odd. It's just so disjointed. Usually the whole day runs and you go and vote, and then you can look forward to, like Stevie says, exit polls and hear all the chat on whatever channel you decide to listen to it on, and then you get the results coming in, and yeah, it's just... You know, by Saturday afternoon, I think I lost interest and went bowling.
Yeah. It's not quite the same, is it? It does need that immediacy, really. People need to know, who's won quickly.
Yeah, I found the actual polling was slightly different because of the social distancing. It was just, it wasn't unfriendly, but it was just much more structured. What I would say is that the polling boxes, do we call them polling boxes? The ballot boxes? Ballot boxes, that's a better word.
Ballot boxes.
Certainly where I was, they were really full. It wasn't impossible to put your slips in, but, you know, it wasn't just a case of dropping it in and hearing it fall. So it looked like either they'd miscalculated the size of box, or we'd had a really, really good turnout.
You're right, Stevie. I had to ram mine in, and yet they were saying that there's been a lot more postal votes this time for obvious reasons. People don't want to go out to the polling stations. So yeah, I think it's been pretty busy. Mind any excuse to get out at the moment.
Oh, absolutely, and see and speak to people.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about that, I've put my vote in at the Benderloch Palladium, the famous Benderloch Palladium, the Victory Hall there, and I bumped into Joy Cameron, no less, who has a lot. She's on the Victory Hall committee, and she also runs the Bookend Festival. It was lovely to see Joy, but we started chatting about how much we miss the hall, because it's the community hub in Benderloch, and there's so many good things happening there. So yeah, I enjoyed catching up with Joy, but we'll have a wee listen to what she said. Joy Cameron, we've been back at the Victory Hall in Benderloch.
We have, my goodness, a year and just too long.
Yeah, and I'll have to tell everybody the reason that we were there this morning is to vote.
Yes.
Because it's the Benderloch Polling Station, but you'll be kicking keen to get things up and running.
Oh,
in there again.
so much. We've had so many requests from musicians wanting to come and do their live shows again. We had to put off all the ones from this year. Well, thoughts that maybe towards the end of the year we might get some local bands in again. Bookends, oh how we've missed being in the reading room, and we have managed to keep in touch with a lot of people who come to Bookends, and it's just not the same to be sitting down in a comfy couch. We're sitting out here in the garden 6 feet apart, which is lovely, but to sit on a couch and share a story.
Is there any word of that coming back soon? Because mental health has been
Yeah.
a huge issue for the last year and a half, and Bookends is perfect for that.
It absolutely is. We often say it's a mental health club masquerading as a book festival. We're quite nimble. We're not going to have a festival this year, because normally we'd have a week festival and then a week's fringe. But it's too much to organise, cancel. So what we're focusing on is, as soon as we can safely do it, we are going to have a monthly pop-up, and it'll be the 3rd of every month. Get the word on the 3rd. Hopefully starting maybe in September. We're following Scottish Government guidelines. We're looking at the levels. And actually the hall committee has organised to have a deep clean done of the hall. Post-election, they're doing a really good job over there, aren't they, looking after us?
They are, yes, because I haven't been in for a while and I'm not familiar with the layout. So they were good at telling you what to do, where to go, no problem.
All masked up and everything. But they've got a deep clean being done by West Highland Cleaning, Harry and Carol, local folk, and they're going to come in and give the whole place a really good clean, make it COVID safe, make it comfortable, and then we'll be able to get it warm again, because even in May
it wasn't too warm this morning.
Well, all the doors were open, you know.
Yeah, the poor guys. It's the poor guys sitting there that you've got to think about. I'm sure somebody will get them a hot cup. They'll have their flask.
But the thing is, it's been left. It's a wee bit like an archive. It's all just been left as it is. You know, the badminton poles are just waiting for badminton to start again. The toddlers' toys are all stashed away safely in the corner. Bookends books are all still there, and there's still lots of book boxes about. We're going to add a new book box in Benderloch. There's a book shed coming in Tunnall. There's the book phone box in Connell. Places where you can go and at least get a wee read. It's not the same, we know. And normally there would be a plant sale in the hall in May too, but we're doing that. We're doing an outdoor one for that as well. So
yeah, it's great. We'll get all the details in.
About
that. So
it's going to run for about a month or more. So
yeah. You'll still be able to pick up your plants, which is great.
Yeah. But we're just desperate to get everybody together again. I think we're all desperate for that. But the light's at the end of the tunnel. Vaccines are working. All the visitors that have been coming to Oban and Benderloch seem to be very well behaved. We're delighted.
Absolutely. Well, we know you guys are fantastic about getting the word out there and letting people know what's happening, so we'll just keep an eye out for when things are starting again.
We'll be sure to let you know. Oban Times, great at telling everybody what's happening in all the local village halls. Oban FM, Super 2, And word of mouth is great in this part of the world. It's so good. So good. Thanks to everybody who's stuck with us and not... Still follow us on Facebook, the Hall page, Bookends page, the music page.
Because we want to know what's going
I
on.
know, I know. Well, we'll put up a few holding messages. I was going to say, on the Bookends, we've got all our authors booked and storytellers, and they are just champing at the bit. They're just ready to go.
I'll bet. And on that note, Campbell himself's been keeping us entertained with his readings on Oban FM.
We've so enjoyed them.
Trying to listen into the stories when I'm in the car, so that's...
Ian Weir's stories, and of course, if you don't get to listen to them live, they're always on the Listen Again feature, 103.3. There you go.
That's what we can do in the meantime while we're waiting for Bookends, Joy. But lovely to see you again today.
Thanks, Fiona. It's been a pleasure to see you, and just thank you to the Open Times for keeping us all going. You've been incredibly upbeat. That's been so helpful.
It's been a team effort. It's community working again, Joy. So,
it's great. What a community we live in. Fantastic.
Definitely. Isn't Joy fantastic? She's just a joy to be with.
And she's always so chirpy.
I know. Did you notice those birds in the background, Stevie?
There was a hint.
That was nice. Yeah. That was a nice touch.
There was a hint of possibly you were recording outside.
It was lovely.
Ellis, you've got news of the return of something.
The return of something. It's not just anything, it's the return of Oban Phoenix Cinema.
Yay.
On the 17th of May, let me get this right. On the 17th of May, they're going to open the doors, not for any films. That's just to allow people to have a look round, to familiarise themselves with the new layout. They have been very busy working on improvements. On the 21st of May, they're going to reopen their doors, and this is for Brave. Have either of you seen Brave?
I have seen Brave.
I'm sure you have.
It's a wonderful film.
I haven't.
Fiona,
I think
you should go. You should see it.
When I was on the phone to Ellis the other day, he basically read me the whole script. So I'm quite familiar with it.
Fiona, it's one of those films you should really go and see. You'll love it, and you'll recognise so many places within the film, even though it's all an animation.
Right, I'm gonna have to go now, haven't I?
Yep.
I absolutely. I've got two girls, as you both know, and they adored Brave. It came out in 2012. That's what I could not believe. It came out in 2012, Brave, but they're going to put that on as a bit of a freebie. So you do have to get in touch and try and reserve your place. But they're going to put Brave on the 21st. And then effectively they're opening after the 21st. And they're getting Nomadland, which, absolutely triumphed at the Oscars. Mm-hmm. That'll be another absolute epic film to see, I think.
Yeah. And I believe that Brave was the first film they opened with when the cinema reopened. Am I right?
Really?
Yep. I'm sure that was the first film. I'm sure it was all big, and that was it. Brave was the first one.
That you could be right there, because it was 2012.
Yeah.
Which is when the cinema was saved, wasn't it?
Yep. And I also hear, no pun intended, when I tell you what it is, from the staff that they have a new sound system installed as well, which is remarkable, I am told.
They have new audio, and another of the things that they've been looking at while it was shut down is how do they sort of reconfigure the layout of the cinema in order to give people in a kind of post-COVID environment the best view of the screen. That's something else that they've been doing. So I would really urge people to get along, if you get the chance, on the 17th of May and check it out, because I think it's going to be exciting times at the cinema.
What film are you most looking forward to seeing, Ellis?
I have to say Brave. I absolutely adore Brave. Apparently it's the first Disney Pixar. Can you believe this, right? It's the first Disney Pixar that had a female character as a lead. And it's 2012. And it's taken so long for us to get, to recognise that my girls absolutely love it. They truly love it, and I love it as well because it's got a female lead, and it's Kelly MacDonald.
Really strong female leads as well.
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. You've got to see Brave. There'll be people out there listening to this potentially that have not seen it. Please go along and see it because it's a fantastic story, and it's set in the Highlands as well.
It is. I think it's the big screen experience as well. Even if you've seen it on TV or whatever, there's nothing quite like sitting in a cinema with great picture and great sound, and just to get a whole new experience for it.
Brilliant point. Sorry, Fiona, it feels like we've excluded you a little bit from that.
No, I'm listening away, and I'm sold. I'll be getting my bag of sweeties and going along there.
Fiona, are you sold on Daniel Craig's final performance whenever he reaches Oban?
October. Apparently it's October. It's the next Bond.
We've got to wait till October.
And its release. It's been very delayed, hasn't it?
Just a little. I don't know the reason why. Why has it been delayed? Anyone got a clue why that's been delayed? No. I suppose that's a rhetorical question. Ellis, have you had time during our recording to work out a Scottish word of the week?
Just about.
Have
you ever... I think Scottish word of the week with you two is always... I'm always at a slight disadvantage.
No, you just have to work harder.
No, because you're very familiar with the language. But I'd not heard of this expression before. Well, it's not really an expression, it's a definition. The Gerk.
How are you spelling that?
So if I said... I better be careful here. If I said Malcolm was a little bit of a Gerk, and I am, and I might add that I am a little bit of a Gerk as well. I don't think Stevie is necessarily. Well, maybe he is. And Steve is a bit of a Gerk. What would you think I was saying about?
I'm getting a bit worried now.
It's that's not one I'm familiar with.
Ray.
Which just makes me even more suspicious that you're making these up, Ellis.
I'm making them up. Right, Gerk. Okay. Gerk means stout, well-built person. But we should caution, before you use this word as a term of endearment, some may view this phrasing as a touch euphemistic, and our view of whether stout is a pleasing attribute may have changed. That's the official description of the Merriam-Webster website. So you've got to be careful before calling someone Gerk. He's a Gerk fella, but it does mean a stout, well-built person, which I think meets the category for certainly for myself, and certainly for Malcolm as well.
Okay, well, that's as always informative, but I really must, when we finish recording, go off and just check these definitions, just in case he's pulling our Gerk legs.
Straight up, it's absolutely genuine. You've never heard of the term Gerk, have you not?
No, never.
No.
But thank you for enlightening us, Ellis, and the general populace. I'm sure we will be using that in everyday conversation in the next week, Fiona? But perhaps not to our nearest and dearest.
I'll leave off that one to Malcolm, I think.
So listen, that's all we've got time for this week. Don't forget, you can read our stories online at www.obentimes.co.uk, and you can subscribe to our page-turning digital edition there as well as finding more podcasts like this one and all kinds of other wonderful photos, videos and stories. There's lots of treasures on the Oban Times website. We'd love to hear what you think of our podcast, so don't forget to email us on somethingfortheweekend@obentimes.co.uk or message us through our Instagram or Facebook. But for now, it's goodbye from me, Stephen Day.
Goodbye from me, Fiona Scott.
Goodbye from me, Ellis Butcher.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.